Hey there. Wow, you did it. You gave birth. Your baby was just born. Amazing. But wait, please. Just wait a second. The cord hasn't stopped pulsating yet. Don't cut it yet. Right? Because what's happening is the placenta needs to give all the fetal blood back to the baby, and if you cut it right now, the baby isn't going to get all of its oxygen, all of its hemoglobin, all of its immune cells. It's really important. So watch the rest of this video to find out more about delayed cord clamping and how critical it is, and how actually something as simple as waiting 3 to 5 minutes can actually save babies' lives. It's a big important decision, and it should be a part of your birth plan. So go ahead, push like and subscribe on this video, and subscribe to our channel, especially if you like watching videos that are about birth and about postpartum and breastfeeding and women's health and babies' health. Go ahead and push like and subscribe right now. And if this is our first time meeting, my name is Maria Chaudhry. I'm a midwife and an herbalist. And as a midwife, I've attended hundreds of home births. And as an herbalist, I created an herbal line called Birth Song Botanicals. And we make a whole collection of herbal remedies for birth and pregnancy and postpartum and breastfeeding and for children. And we sell these products all over the world, and they're made for you. And so you can learn more about us and our products and all the things we have to offer and all the ways we can support you at birthsongbotanicals.com. But let's get into this. I really want to talk about delayed cord clamping and how important it is, and I want to talk about the baby and the placenta. Okay? This is Sophia right here. This is our baby, and this is our placenta right here. And so just what I want to show you, what I want to illustrate, is how much blood is retained in the placenta if we cut the cord right away, and how significant it is. So when you think about the mother in her body, she has her own circulation. And she sends oxygenated blood to the placenta. You see the placenta here? Make sure you can see the placenta. She sends oxygenated blood to the placenta. The placenta absorbs the oxygenated blood, all the nutrients. Remember, the placenta is the protector. It's the lifeline. And it sends the nutrients via the umbilical cord into this baby. And this baby, the blood enters the baby's circulatory system. The baby receives all the oxygen and all the nutrients. And then once it's deoxygenated, it sends it back to the placenta. And then the mother's body picks up the blood and carries it through her system. And so the mother's blood circulatory system is its own complete system. And the fetal placental circulatory system is one unit. The blood that's inside the placenta belongs to the baby. It's not the mother's blood. And this fetal placental unit, the amount of blood that's in the placenta in a full-term baby, is 450 milliliters of blood. That's the blood volume that's being processed, right? I measured it out specifically. Okay. At the moment of birth, when the baby is just born, 2/3 of the blood is in the baby's body. That's 300 mils. And now, typical hospital birth, this happens all the time. The baby's born, immediately the cord is clamped. When that happens, 2/3 of the blood stays in the baby's body, and then 1/3 of the blood stays in the placenta. Now, when you look at this, you're like, well, that's just 150 mils. That doesn't look like very much. What's the big deal? For one thing, I want to say right now, this, in comparison to the size of the baby, this 150 mils is like, if I were to compare it to an adult person, would be this 1,000 ml bag. So this is 4 cups of blood. If I were to be in my life and suddenly did not have 4 cups of blood, that's considered a hemorrhage. A hemorrhage, when a person has a hemorrhage, they're having irregular heart rate, they're having a hard time holding their temperature, they're pale, they're not thinking clear, and they're having a problem, right? And so a newborn, when a newborn is born, we actually have high expectations of a newborn. As soon as they're born, they better pink up, breastfeed, have a wonderful heart tone, and be breathing perfectly, right? And so when you deny or limit access to their oxygen and to their hemoglobin and to their blood volume, then it's harder for them to function. And if we just wait a few minutes, literally 3 to 5 minutes after the birth, we can allow this transfer of blood from the placenta into the baby. It takes 3 to 5 minutes for the cord to pulsate and for this transfer to happen. So it looks 3 to 5 minutes. This 150 mils can go into our sweet baby, right? And then that would mean our baby can have what it needs. So the babies that are born and have all of their blood volume, and they have delayed cord clamping and their cord is allowed to pulsate, they have a higher birth weight. They have higher APGAR scores. That means they have better color, their heart rate's better, their breathing is better, their ability to, their reflexes and their response and ability to hold temperature is better. They're better equipped to survive and to thrive outside of the womb. Okay, so I wanted to illustrate how significant the clamping and cutting the cord, how if we just wait 3 to 5 minutes, what the benefit will be. Because another thing I want to say is the benefits are immediate, right? And they're long term. If the baby has enough hemoglobin in their body, it helps support them so that they have enough iron so that they're not anemic at 6 months. Like that's a big problem for babies around 6 months of age, is that and people are concerned about their iron levels. But if you give them all their cord blood, it helps them not be anemic. That's one thing. Another thing I want to say is, I can't even really quantify to you the T cells. Your T cells are your immune cells. So if you have all of your immune and antibodies and all of the cellular functions to support your immune system, that not only benefits you right at birth, but for the rest of your life, right? So that's a lifelong benefit. Another thing I want to say is previously doctors used to think, and they really believe this, and midwives have always known this, that they wanted to clamp and cut the cord immediately because they wanted to prevent, and they wanted to make sure that the bilirubin levels in the baby, they wanted to keep the bilirubin levels low so that the baby wouldn't have jaundice. And so this is true. If you allow the cord to pulsate and the baby to get all of its cord blood, it is true the bilirubin levels are higher. However, these elevated bilirubin levels do not lead to problematic or pathological jaundice. So that is no longer scientifically valid reason to clamp and cut the cord. One other thing which I think is critical, I need you to listen. When the baby is connected to the cord, remember the placenta is its lifeline. It is giving the baby oxygen. So when you have a full-term baby, and if this baby needs to be resuscitated, and you need to work on the baby to help oxygenate the baby, if you clamp and cut the cord, and take the baby over here and work on the baby. Oh, you don't like that I just turned the back and took the baby over here? Oh, you don't like that? You want your baby to be close to you? Oh, that's so weird. I wonder why you would want that. Anyways, you could instead not clamp and cut the cord because the baby still is receiving oxygen. So the amount of time that you have to work on the baby to get the baby to breathe is longer. So you have more time to work on the baby. So you can leave the baby intact and you can work on and resuscitate and breathe for the baby right there, right with the mom, and you have a longer amount of time to save the baby. And so that benefit lasts a lifetime, right? So delayed cord clamping is really critical and really important. And so I'm talking to you girls, especially you girls that are having hospital births, for you to have this conversation with your care providers so that it's in your birth plan and that they know that you're really insisting upon delayed cord clamping, that you're insisting that they take the 3 to 5 minutes to pause and to allow this process, this transference to occur. And really, it's really simple. It's fact-based, it's evidence-based birth. And if all of us go in and we insist on the simple, proven things that we can all do, what happens is we improve birth. We change hospital policies and we make it better for mothers and babies. And that's something that's within all of our power to do. All right? So before I get too much further, I want you to put in the comments and tell me, is delayed cord clamping a part of your birth plan? Have you already had the conversation about delayed cord clamping with your care provider? And if you did, what did they say? And how much time are they willing to allow the cord to pulsate? Okay, so I want to take this a bit further. I've said, whoa, 3 to 5 minutes, right? What about, instead of watching the clock for 3 to 5 minutes, we watch the cord? Because I've been to births at the hospital and legit, they're looking at the clock. And as soon as it's 3 minutes, clamp and cut the cord, right? What I'm proposing is look at the cord. When the baby's just born, there's pictures of this all over the internet and on our website. When the baby's just born, the cord is full. It has a spiral, it's bluish, when you put your fingers on it, you can feel a pulsation. It's awesome. After the 3 to 5 minutes, which is a little bit arbitrary, but after the placenta has transferred all the oxygen and all the blood to the baby, the cord, will look white, and instead of being full, it'll be really empty, and instead of pulsating, there won't be any pulse, and it'll be really flaccid and limp, right? Once the cord looks like that, then technically the blood volume from the placenta has entered into the baby, and that's an appropriate time to clamp and cut the cord. Okay? Since I am a home birth midwife, and I want to share with you what delayed cord clamping looks like in my midwifery practice, okay? So this is a general conversation. Every birth is unique. Essentially, though, I'm going to talk you through it. Just imagine the baby's born, and the baby and the mother are skin to skin. Right after the birth, we're still really in this reverence, this focused place. We're really maintaining this atmosphere and this environment of no interruptions. We're not interrupting or interfering with this process, right? So the baby is skin to skin with the mom. And as a midwife, you start to learn how to assess things and how to respond appropriately with the level of need in the situation. So in a normal birth where everybody is healthy, healthy APGAR scores, healthy, no excessive bleeding, all that mom really needs is observation and actually a little bit of space for her to do what she's going to instinctively, naturally do. When the placenta comes, generally speaking, it's in between 5 minutes and 60 minutes. It can take up to an hour. An hour is totally normal. Most placentas do tend to come around 20 minutes though. When the placenta comes, there'll be a little gush of blood. She'll feel really crampy. When you're looking, since I said watch the cord, you'll see that the cord just got longer. And she'll feel crampy and maybe her back will hurt a little bit, and then she'll push the placenta out. We do not pull on the cord. We are oftentimes giving gentle cord traction. And once the placenta comes out, we do a look at the placenta and we rub her uterus. It's called fundal massage. Make sure her uterus is nice and firm. If, when you're gauging the situation, if it seems appropriate, this will be a good time to clamp and cut the cord. If it seems like the mom and the baby are still in their moment, having their moment together, and they don't want to be disturbed, then all you do is you wrap the placenta is still attached to the baby. All you do is you wrap the placenta up in a Chuck's pad so that it doesn't make a mess, and you tuck it in really close to the mom and the baby. And the mom and the baby continue to breastfeed. And they're staying warm, they're keeping the baby warm. When you're at birth, you know there'll be an obvious time when it's time to transition, when it's time to, okay, it's time to check for tears, it's time to clamp and cut the cord, it's time to do the newborn exam, it's time to get up and do the herb bath. That time will appear very obviously. So we'll do that. This is not a full lotus birth, but what it is an example of that it's totally okay and it's appropriate and recommended to allow enough time for the physiological birth of the placenta so that it's not rushed. And when you allow for that process to happen, the incidences of hemorrhage is greatly reduced. When you allow time before you clamp and cut the cord, the baby is fully oxygenated and can nurse better. If you allow the baby to be skin to skin uninterrupted, the mother's breast milk will come in faster and breastfeeding will be maintained and established in a much more healthy way. And so I wanted to share that with you, what delay cord clamping could look like. So what I want you to do also, now that you've cut the cord and you know what delay cord clamping is, because the next thing is, oh, I didn't really tell you. Wait, when we clamp and cut the cord, we do make it fairly special, right? It's time to take pictures and we make it fairly special. I didn't even talk about that part. Oftentimes it's the dad or, the partner that clamps and cuts the cord, but sometimes it's the siblings, like older brothers and sisters, and that's really sweet. And then sometimes it's, like maybe another family member or a really close friend or your mom or somebody special. And then sometimes the mother does it herself, and that's really symbolic. And so clamping and cut the cord in and of itself is a huge, beautiful symbol. And when you allow the placenta to come and you wrap it up and you don't cut it right away and you don't remove it, but you keep it with the mother and the baby, that's a symbol in and of itself. That's an appreciation. That's a way to honor the placenta. And as a midwife, I feel really like that's important. I really love the placenta, and I love that it's a part of the bonding experience, and it gives the placenta, in a sense, an opportunity to kind of do its full process before it's separated, and before the mother is separated from the baby, before the placenta is separated from the baby, and they become this, it's a special moment. So take your time with that. So if you care about those types of things, if you want to learn about honoring the placenta, I have a blog post and that's linked down below. But once you clamp and cut the cord, see, the thing is then you gotta like take care of it, and you gotta keep it clean and help it not get infected. And so watch the next video that I just am about to make about how to keep the umbilical cord stump clean and so it can fall off faster. So you're gonna watch that next video and share this video with all your friends, all your pregnant friends. Push like and subscribe and ring the bell. It really helps me out and helps grow the channel. And also I want to say that this is your birth. This is your body. This is your baby. And you got this. And you have every bit of ability to use your voice and to create a birth experience that's really good for you and really good for your baby. And it will ripple out into the rest of your life. And I'm really proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Okay, my friends. Until next time, happy birthing. Drink deep and always walk in beauty.